Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Town of Lexington Board of Zoning Appeals meeting. This board is comprised of town citizens. We are appointed by town council and we serve without pay. We are a legal board operating under the Comprehensive Planning Act of the state of South Carolina. Although this meeting may not seem as formal as a hearing in court, all statements still must be true and factual and made in a manner not to mislead us. We understand that we must make our decision within the parameters of state law. State law requires us to grant a variance if and only if we find each of the following four statements true. There are extraordinary and exceptional conditions pertaining to a particular piece of property in question because of its size, shape, or topography. These conditions do not generally apply to other property in the vicinity. Because of these conditions, the application of the ordinance to a particular piece of property would effectively prohibit or unreasonably restrict the utilization of the property. The authorization of the variance will not be of substantial detriment to the adjacent property or the public good, and the character of the district will not be harmed by granting the variance. Moreover, state law prohibits us from granting a variance simply because the property could be used more profitably if the variance were granted. We are not concerned with the use of the property. The use of the property is determined by others. We ask that you please confine your remarks to the issues at hand. Should we make a decision you believe is incorrect, you may appeal our decision to the circuit court within a certain time limit provided by the state law. In cases that such an appeal is made, it is important that the circuit court know who testified at this meeting, so please sign in the sign-in sheet and identify yourself before speaking. Thank you. Welcome to our December meeting. Staff, you have our first item, please?
Yes. This is variance number 2024-9. Kevin Conley, representing Mount Orb Church, Inc., has submitted a request for a variance from the Town of Lexington setback and buffer ordinance. The variance is sought to construct a covered porch and covered walkway over an existing sidewalk to connect two buildings at Mount Orb Church, located at 1205 Old Cherokee Road. This property was annexed into the Town of Lexington after the construction of the existing structures and is currently considered a legal nonconformity. To construct the covered walkway, the new addition must comply with the current setback requirements of 30 feet from the property line and the buffer requirement of 20 feet. The applicant is requesting a variance to allow the covered porch to be set back roughly 12 feet from the property line and the covered walkway to be roughly 25 feet from the property line.
All right, so because I'm a salesman and I just round things up and don't do real math, so what is the actual ask in feet compared to where we were? Or where the certain is, where we are currently?
Mike?
Well, we'll get to that in a second.
The building is currently 24.77 feet at its closest point from the property line, based off of the site plan that's included in your packet. Mm-hmm. And it looks like the covered porch is going to be 12 foot wide.
Okay.
And then, of course, the walkway is roughly 25 and a half foot between the two existing structures.
Okay. Any questions for staff at this point?
No.
Not at this point.
Okay, we'd like to hear from the applicant. Y'all should have rock, paper, scissors. See who's going to go first.
My name is Mike Ray. I'm with HP Engineering, helping out with the engineering on this project. Basically, what we've got is we've got existing doors on the existing church buildings. The existing church buildings actually encroach into the setbacks, and what we're trying to do is do a covered walkway from one building to the other building. And essentially this is for weddings. Basically to put some sort of a covered walk to connect.
The little chapel on the...
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So this is the way that, in speaking with my wife, this is the building that was the chapel, that was the youth room, and now it's back to a chapel?
Yes, sir. This is the original church.
Okay.
That got, when they built first big addition, new sanctuary, that got converted to a youth room.
Yep.
Second big addition, it was still kind of a youth room, not really used. Multi-purpose,
yep.
Now it's being renovated as more of a small event, weddings, funerals, things that don't need an auditorium. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Basically.
And correct me if I'm wrong, y'all are gonna be fixing some of the ADA stuff as well?
Correct.
With
There's some of the ramps, but the old church were not very, well, they
Yeah.
weren't even close. And
Yeah.
this will remedy that.
Any questions for Mr. Mike?
No.
I don't think so.
Kevin, you want to say anything?
Just to add that, like Mike said, we're renovating.
State,
the
I'm sorry,
existing-
I don't mean to interrupt. State your name just for the
Kevin
record.
Conley.
Thank you.
Okay. We're renovating the chapel to do for small weddings and funerals. It's kind of evolved because we're trying to look at ADA access elements, also safety elements. Old Cherokee Road was widened after, since this church has been here. I mean, we really haven't changed anything on the front. Things have kind of come to us. And this was annexed after, the town annexes much after, all this was built. So we're dealing with a lot of existing conditions. And this covered walkway is to provide a buffer between Old Cherokee Road and the courtyard in there so that we'd be able to get a bride from one part of the church to the other and also create a safe space in there for if kids came out and things of that nature.
The courtyard, like on that hallway going up toward like where the Sunday school rooms are, I'm trying to visualize. So from there, I'm trying to visualize it, and I'm having a hard time on the map. So
right here, if you can see.
You can bring that up.
Basically runs parallel to that hallway.
that's okay.
Yeah, see, this is what I'm calling the courtyard,
Okay.
right here. And then this walkway will go across here and we'll screen, so we're screening from Old Cherokee Road. And this will create, a safe space in here with ADA access to it.
Okay.
And it's mostly to get, a bride from across here
Okay.
because I'm
Yep.
told that they need to be
Yes.
secluded
They
until
do.
they're
That's
presented.
that's
so.
that's the rules.
That's what big sheets and friends are for. Says the wedding DJ. Okay,
So that's pretty much the request.
okay.
Okay.
Any questions for Mr. Conley?
Now that I've
No.
got that.
All right, so I've got a couple questions for staff.
Okay.
Have we had any residents make comments? Because I know we post these things.
We do post them, we post the property and we send letters to all adjacent properties that touch the property line of the subject property. And I had one phone call from a citizen, but they were in favor. They did not care one way or the other of whether or not, but that was it. I've had one phone call.
So 100% of your responses are
It's
in
positive.
favor?
Yeah.
Yes, so.
That would be like.
We like that.
Yep. Also, is this in a preservation corridor?
No, sir.
Okay. All right, we'll discuss. What y'all think?
See an issue with it.
Say it, you're outside voice in the microphone.
I don't see an issue with it. Well, I thought we were discussing amongst ourselves.
No.
Yeah.
They gotta kind of hear that.
No,
So,
I see no issues.
yep. All right. All right, so this is the part, going back to the numbers, because from what I remember, I'm asking you a question. I need to state the footage that I'm giving them variance to, correct?
Yes, give me 1 second.
which would be,
I had sent Jessica had asked me for some dimensions, for the
For
dimensions you're
updated,
looking
you're
for.
right.
And I don't
Yeah.
have them on the ones that Kevin's got. It's really small.
Sorry, I had it in my write-up as the covered porch is gonna be set back roughly 12 and some change. And then the walkway is 25.57. Is that correct? So right here is 24.77, and you're saying this is 12, but?
no, you have a perpendicular distance there as well.
Well, I'm trying to figure out, because, this is like one of those, this is why I didn't become a
Yeah.
mechanical engineer. I can't do math. I can
25.
count.
25
So that's
Yep,
25 and 19?
yes.
25 from
from the right of way, which is where our setback line would be. Down here where we're adding the covered walkway, we've got 25 feet here, and we've got 19 feet here.
All right, so we're doing 25
So
from,
it basically goes 25 from
44.
the eastern corner, and then 19 from the western.
yep. So I need to state that as 25, say that in the second number again,
25 to 19.
25 to 19, and that covers,
Sorry, I misunderstood. I thought that was new.
so that's what I'm getting at, it's a 6, they're doing 6 feet.
Okay. I'm
But if
sorry.
we're off of 30, that's what, I'm trying to do the math right to where we don't mess them up by saying the wrong numbers. Wow, this has gotten hard now.
If
If
you
it were gone from like 10 to, if you did from like 10 to 23, that should cover it. The variance,
I'm looking at you, ma'am,
Yes, that's fine with me.
10 to 23,
Yes, that's fine with me.
and that covers both setback and
Yes.
buffer? I don't need to
Yes.
differentiate?
No. No,
Okay.
because the variance is to allow it to be at that.
Okay. All right, I'd like to make a motion to approve variance number 2024-9 to allow for a 10 to 23-foot setback for the new construction for the following reasons. Number one, the existing structures were built prior to annexation of the town of Lexington under a buffer and setback requirements defined by Lexington County. Number two, that this is a commercial site, and I'm air quoting the word commercial site, and due to the nature of the, again, air quoting business that takes place at this facility, and this is unique to this area. Number three, without granting of the variance, the owner would have to demolish existing structures to accommodate the new structures. And number four, as stated by staff, there are no objections from surrounding neighbors. Granting the variance will not affect any other adjacent property due to the placement on the site.
Second motion?
I have a second.
Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Ron Fisher,
Yes to the motion.
Troy Black,
Yes to the motion.
Don Weatherly.
Yes to the motion?
You have been granted your variance. Thank you. Tell the family we said hello, kiddo. Yep. And Mike, I don't know your family, but Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to them, too.
Thanks.
All right, we have approval of the minutes. Do I have a motion to approve?
I make a motion, we approve the minutes. as
Second.
Printed.
Second?
All in favor, say aye.
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 It's unanimous. Do we have any business from the town that we need to know about?
Just to provide you with an update, we took this sign ordinance research to Planning Commission last month. They decided to kick it to December to allow for a chance to review and go over it, and then we will have a work session. So that will be on the December Planning Commission meeting, which I believe is December the 18th. So if you're interested in following along, just a quick update on that.
As far as that meeting goes, and I know it's a council planning, have we reached back out to Pine Press to ask for their input?
That is part of the considerations that will be discussed at Planning Commission. And in stakeholder meetings is a discussion item. So we will see what they recommend and take that to council.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And since that meeting, I don't know about the rest of you, I've noticed 1,000 of these
Oh,
things.
they're everywhere.
Everywhere.
I've noticed them all over, so I'm looking forward to seeing what the town council comes up with.
Yes, me too.
Do we have a meeting at this point scheduled for January?
No, we do not.
So we get the month off?
You get the first month of the year off.
Okay. Other question that we had talked about the possibility for the training for this board about maybe pulling old documents, like things that happened before we were on it, and doing kind of a mock thing of how
Right.
would this go? Is that have you been able to ask anybody if that would suffice as our training?
It would. At this point in time, I don't know if you all are aware that Brad Cunningham, our attorney, retired as of the end of November.
Did not know that?
And so until that position is filled, I would need an attorney to lead and facilitate that meeting. So we may need to speak with administration to see if we can come up with an alternative in the intermission of having someone
Yep.
here.
And I may be speaking, out of just, this is a thought in my head. What can the council, does COG, could they possibly facilitate something like that for us?
They could, that is an option, or we could have a speaker come in. I mean, there's a couple different things. The Planning Commission, some of our other boards have asked for us to explore different options as well. So that's something I plan to tackle in the new year.
Excellent. And I know I appreciate that because it is, for us on this board, like we've discussed, a lot of it is more towards planning than it is us. So if we can, and if it means that we learn about planning just to get our hours in. And then on that note, would have loved to hear as soon as you have your schedule out for what we're going to do.
Yes, I
Because
will.
I enjoyed having it done so early this year.
Yes. I actually have our final training session tomorrow, but I think all of y'all are covered for the most part, or fixing to be. And so I will get that out to you as soon as possible, but it's on my to-do list at the first of the year.
Excellent. Any other business that you guys need to bring forward?
No.
I think I can speak for my two other board members here. Merry Christmas to you. Happy holidays to the staff.
Christmas.
Thank you for all that y'all do to make this look easy for us. And if you're watching on YouTube out there, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever you celebrate. I hope it's fun. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I don't have a gavel.
Boom.
We're adjourned.